Good morning, everyone. This is probably going to be difficult for me, but please bear with me. When Teresa and Anne first asked me to speak to you, I jumped at the chance. It was not that I thought of my story as exceptional or unique, but it was an opportunity to share my journey and recognize the people who helped me along the way. But as the time came for me to sit down and think about what I wanted to say, I realized it was going to be more emotional and difficult than I expected. Because if I was really going to share my experiences with you, I was going to have to rehash the good as well as the bad. In March of 2010, I went to my general practitioner, Dr. Christine Zito, for a regular checkup. As with the majority of people, I have always hated going to the doctor. But this time, I was compelled to go because I had recently found a lump in my breast. Having a mother who is an 8-year breast cancer survivor, I knew not to waste any time. Oh, thank you. Dr. Zito didn't seem overly concerned with the lump, but suggested I go to the Breast Health Center for a mammogram. Within a couple of days, I was in the center having a mammogram and an ultrasound. The radiologist told me he saw something he didn't like the look of and wanted me to come in for a biopsy the next week. The biopsy was on a Friday, and on Monday, I received a call from Dr. Zito telling me I had breast cancer. Being told you have cancer is one of the worst things I had ever imagined hearing in my life, and there I was. I was stunned and devastated as I drove away from work. I did not understand how the world could continue on as normal. People still sped along the freeway, the sun still shone, and the birds still chirped. Didn't they know what had just happened to me? Didn't they know I had cancer? The same day Dr. Zito called, I went to see her. She went over the pathology report and gave me a list of surgeons and oncologists. In my mind, there was never any question that I would pick local doctors and be treated in Burbank. And as soon as I got home, I started calling the doctors on the list and making appointments. The next day, I was able to meet with Dr. Deanna Atai, a surgeon who specializes in breast health. She took the time to explain to me and my mother more about the pathology of my cancer. Who knew there was more than one type of cancer? I sure didn't. Her no-nonsense direct approach was exactly what I was going to need to get me through my treatment. As for selecting an oncologist, there was really only one option. At the time of my diagnosis, my dad was undergoing treatment for a rare blood cancer, and his sister, my aunt, was finishing up her treatment for breast cancer. And both were being treated by Dr. Arzu of East Valley Hematology and Oncology. From the first moment I met Dr. Arzu, I immediately felt enveloped by his warmth and calm demeanor. I knew he would take the best possible care of me. Through my conversations with him, I learned that my type of cancer required aggressive treatment. I ultimately would have chemo, surgery, more chemo than radiation. Ugh. But before I started chemo, there was something I had to take care of. As a single woman with no children, I quickly learned chemo wreaks havoc with a woman's reproductive system. Not wanting to take any chances with the very real possibility of infertility, I contacted a fertility doctor. With the help of the clinic and the Lance Armstrong Foundation's Fertile Hope program, I now have little mini-me's on ice. Throughout the process of cultivating eggs for retrieval, I felt like a walking, talking science experiment, an interesting and happy diversion considering what chemo was about to bring. Once I was ready to start chemo, Dr. Arzu's office was settled into its new location on the 4th floor of the new Disney Cancer Center. If I was going to go through this, it was great knowing I was going to do this in a beautiful place with everything I needed under one roof and within a walking distance of my other doctors and the hospital. Wanting to make the most of what was offered at the center, I met with Dr. Schwartz, the director of integrative medicine. I think she must have talked to me for about 2 hours, and I was very impressed. At the end of our meeting, she gave me a plan to treat my body and mind in a way which would complement the traditional Western treatment I would be receiving. I had acupuncture with Mark prior to my chemo appointments, attended lectures, purchased supplements in the pharmacy on the 1st floor, met with the psychologist, bonded with fellow patients at the Look Good, Feel Better event, and tried on head wraps and hats at the Appearance Center. The chemos, surgeries, and radiation were definitely no fun. Yes, I lost my hair. Yes, I felt like crap. Yes, I got angry. Yes, I cried. And if life couldn't get any more twisted, for my last chemo, my dad and I sat next to each other, both having treatment. But life went on. There were concerts, trips, holidays, and celebrations. I even attended my 20-year high school reunion 2 weeks after my first surgery. These bright spots, along with my family and friends, kept me going. And here I am today, much better than you would have found me a year ago. I don't think anyone who doesn't know me would guess what I have been through. And because of my experience with cancer, I want to be an example of what cancer doesn't mean. Cancer doesn't automatically mean death, ugliness, perpetual sadness, or an end to all that is enjoyable in life. Cancer can bring great things. For me, it has meant new friendships, the deepening of old ones which have grown out of the common experience of cancer. I was in a commercial for the Komen Walk. I have a position on the board of directors of the Save the Tatas Foundation. I'm taking part in a breast cancer study at UCLA, and I've been asked to speak to you today. To be honest, as young women, I have to admit I was a little more concerned with the shallow things cancer would mean to my life. I was ecstatic with the idea of getting new boobs, saddened at the inevitable loss of hair, scars, and the possibility of premature aging. But what I learned is that life is about more than our physical bodies. Life is important because of the impact we have on each other and our connections with people. On this journey, I have made so many incredible connections. And now that my treatment is over, I miss the people at the Disney Cancer Center. Everyone from the doctors to the man who stocks the gowns in the locker room at the radiation center. There is Kathy, the concierge, who always has a smile and a friendly greeting. Vanessa on the 2nd floor, who I like to think of the gatekeeper of the 2nd floor. The therapists in PT, the infusion room nurses with their exceptional skill, patience, and grace. The radiation techs who saw me Monday through Friday for 7 weeks, Gabby who manages Dr. Arzu's world, and the many others. They are all angels and I miss them. But you know what? I know they miss me too. But they know if they don't see me that I'm happy and healthy and living my life. Thank you for your support and dedication to this foundation and the countless patients you help by doing so. Thank you.